This is Mouthbuzz. Every week, we follow life's strange little breadcrumbs, topics we bumped into, thought about, and maybe completely misunderstood. Join us as we talk it through. We're broadcasting today from Humpybong Creek. Isn't that a lovely word? Humpybong.
Humpybong.
Now, what does that mean?
You're a humpybong.
It's quite a grey day today. Dear listeners, no blue skies to show you from here in sunny Queensland, not so sunny. Humpybong Creek is located in Redcliffe, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that later. But first, what's the buzz?
The buzz today is how much money before you freak out? Teachers, meet your digital replacement.
That sounds like an AI topic.
Think so. Nerve reset, real signs, or just really trendy? I called in sick and AI signed my note. And what if you're just clicking around life's menu?
Oh,
That one sounds intriguing.
that sounds intriguing.
Got a response. Tell us all about Weird Humpybong.
Well, what you may not know is Redcliffe was the first settlement in Queensland. And the reason that they chose it was that it had a freshwater creek.
Oh.
And so the area where the settlement was became known as Humpybong, but it was really the creek. Now, what do you think Humpybong means?
I have absolutely no idea. Seriously.
Well, it's a variation of some Aboriginal words, and I'll attempt to pronounce this. Nungumpan, meaning shelter, and bong, meaning vanished or deserted, suggesting that the settlement was seen as temporary or abandoned,
Oh, okay.
right? And that's exactly what happened. So the settlement began, it was a penal settlement. It was the establishment of the Moreton Bay Penal Settlement,
Okay.
1824, and later they left this area and went to Brisbane, probably because it had a better water supply, the Brisbane River. And so Humpybong Creek, is a lovely green space, obviously with water running through the creek, that runs for probably several kilometres, I would say. Beginning up somewhere near Oxford Street, there's a racecourse up there, and it runs all the way through down to exit and empty out into Moreton Bay. So, dear listeners, we're going to take you for a walk along Humpybong, and in the meantime, we'll get on with the show.
Let's go with teachers. And are we being replaced? Oh, goodness.
Oh, goodness.
Well, might be all right for some people who are close to retiring age. There's change coming, change all around. You know what? I was thinking that movies show us change.
They almost predict the future, don't they?
They do. And I'm wondering if they are doing that to set us up for the future or to plant a seed so that we become more accepting of these ideas. But we watched a movie recently on Netflix called Subservient with Megan Fox, and she was a robot. She took over all the babysitting jobs and cleaning the household and things like that, right? But of course, for marketing purposes, she turned evil. The robots always turn evil, right?
That is a thing, isn't it? It's like when the aliens come to Earth.
Yes, they're
evil.
always evil, right?
Yes.
So that got me thinking, relating that to, there's more talk about AI. There's a shortage of teachers, so they're looking at how to deal with that. And there's a school called Alpha School in the States, in Texas. And what they're doing at primary school level, these are younger kids, the kids learn every day with AI. And AI is fast, right? You type something to ChatGPT and boom, the answer comes.
Yes.
Super, super fast. Much faster than what we have access to information. So these kids get a one-on-one learning experience tailored exactly to them because the AI responds to how well a kid can do it and will change the task immediately so the kids go on to something else. So they're always at individualized learning. Now, a human can't provide that in the environment. So that's a positive outcome. Apparently, these kids are learning really fast, but they're only doing 2 hours a day of that type of learning.
2 hours of AI.
2 hours of AI. And then they go outside and then they learn practical hands-on skills like tying shoelaces, learning how to swim.
Mowing the lawn to help their
Yeah,
parents.
cooking, all sorts of things, lots of active things. And they've only been positive outcomes.
Wow.
Positive, and so far that Florida, California and New York is taking that system on as well.
Very interesting.
And there's a prediction that by 2030, 50% of teachers will have left the profession. Because it's getting quite intense with its paperwork and overload and complex cases in front of you that you have to work with. So maybe it's a good thing.
Maybe, and perhaps the other side of that is perhaps there's not so many teachers coming into the profession.
Yes, it's not such a glorious profession anymore. I think education's changing. There's only one thing that I'm concerned about. Are we taking the human experience away from these kids? But I guess it's only 2 hours, and later on they're doing physical things with other adults, with other people. So it might be a good thing. Might just be a change. And people don't like change.
Well, change is something that is not well accepted in most cases. You'll notice it's kind of like all the AI movies and things that are coming along. As you said, they predict the AI taking over the world and killing humans and all this revolting against us and what have you.
And it's because of the unknown, right? We love knowing.
Yes.
We love that certainty, that the feeling of safety. Yeah, all
that
of
regularity, that normalization of life and living.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think it's one of these things where AI is relatively new and there's a lot of unknowns.
Yes.
And with that comes a lot of risk and speculation and
questions
about the future. And this is not the first time there's been new technology. I mean, just take the mobile phone, the smartphone. How different has that made the world?
Well, think about all the inventions since the printing press and the Industrial Revolution. Been absolutely incredible.
And there's always those people that will put it down and always those people that will support it and go with it. I mean, it's kind of the polarity, isn't it, of right and wrong, good and bad. It's always present.
Oh, well, bring on the change, I'll say.
Yeah, my question is, how do we use this to our advantage?
Yeah.
How do we create a greater life?
Yeah.
You know, not to be the effect of it, not to be the downside of it, but to be aware of it and make our choices.
And how cool is it that kids can get one-on-one learning
Yeah, I mean,
in a classroom? That means there should be higher engagement and less boredom.
well, I think one of the things that'll be interesting that you have found is the behavioural side of things. When you have a teacher in the room and you have kids playing up, disrupting the class, the teacher can step in and handle that. Whereas if you have an AI on a computer screen or a monitor somewhere, how does that work?
Well, perhaps there's still a person in the classroom. There's still a person involved. It's not that the people are probably totally out of the picture, I'd say.
Interesting. We shall see.
We shall.
We shall.
Talking about change, there's something else that's changed that I'd like to bring up this morning.
What's changed?
You know how I talked about breathing and breathing calms you down last week? Well, I'd like to expand a bit more on that topic to talk about the nervous system.
Oh,
So-
should I be nervous?
Are you shaking in your boots? Oh, lucky you're not wearing any boots. Too hot in Queensland for boots yet. So traditionally, we've been taught there are two parts to the nervous system, right?
Okay.
The parasympathetic and the sympathetic.
Yes.
And the parasympathetic is for rest and digest,
Yes.
and the sympathetic is fight or flight.
And freeze.
Now, there is a doctor who has developed a polyvagal system. And
Say that again.
Polyvagal.
Polyvagal. Where do they come up with these names?
Well, it's
Crikey.
related to the vagus nerve.
Okay.
And he's come up with a theory and developed it that the vagus nerve plays a big role in how you handle emotions
Oh.
and how to deal with emotions. So he believes that there are three parts to the nervous system rather than the traditional two parts. And he believes that the autonomic nervous system has evolved, which makes sense because we always think about Neanderthal times and that we're still operating from there. We say, oh, this is how it used to be. So why would bodies have not evolved?
Agreed.
So he talks about 3 parts. There's sympathetic, which is fight, flight, freeze. Then in the middle, there's something called the ventral vagal, which is for safety and social. Mm-hmm. And then down the bottom, if you like, the dorsal vagal, which is total shutdown.
Wow.
More than freeze. And like I said last week, when you can operate more in the ventral vagal, safe and social, you increase that and you decrease the other 2 and build a bigger range through different activities like breathing exercises. It's quite a different way of looking at the nervous system and how you can actually influence it, which is what used to be, we used to be stuck with the 2 and thought, oh, not much we can do. But now we have that middle range and we can increase that size. I think this new trend of resetting the vagus nerve, I think it's got legs.
More tools to play with.
More tools to play with.
Amazing body.
Yes. And I was thinking, you know, sometimes when you've had like an overwhelm or argument with someone or been exasperated, you take a big sigh after and think, oh, like that?
Yeah.
That's you. That's you working. That's your body working on the vagus nerve.
Oh,
by taking big breath in and big deep breath out. So your body is already doing it naturally with a little whisper, and if you follow that, the natural things, and add on to that, your body is actually really, really intelligent and smart.
Bodies are phenomenal.
Yeah.
And there's so much that we don't really get.
No.
Even in the way bodies communicate to us.
Yes.
We think of this body as being a dumb thing that we stuff things into and things come out of, and that's about it. But it's very clever.
And we have to be in control of.
And we have to be in control.
And listen to my voice right now. I have no control over this cough that I've had for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I just have to go with it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting too to have a look at this a little bit further and see, because we've got several brains all combined together in our head, and the lizard brain, which I affectionately call Liz, is the one that reacts very quickly to that fight, flight, survival type stimuli and works on a very primitive kind of level.
So what if you could just stroke your vagus nerve along your neck and settle all that down?
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I like it.
Interesting. So we are evolving, and even the bodies are changing.
I think bodies and nature and the earth are evolving all the time.
Yes.
It was interesting. Recently, a very good friend of mine had left Australia and gone to New Zealand, and he was setting up his living over there. And he returned just recently. So I'm talking about a period of time of, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, something like that. And it was really interesting when he arrived back. I could see the changes in his face and his body and his hair. He's an older man and he'd gotten older. But when you see somebody regularly, you don't notice that.
That's right.
But because I hadn't seen him for a period of time, it was clearer the changes that had occurred with him.
And it wasn't even that long.
And it wasn't even that long. So this evolution is a constant, mutable, changing thing that is continuing on whether we notice it or not. And because we're here on the planet, immersed with our bodies, with the planet, we don't really notice it that much until we do.
I have to get ready. I'm going to see my mother in a few weeks. And I haven't seen her in 13 years.
Oh, wow.
So I think I have to get ready for that shock when I see her next, because she'll be 75. And I'm going, okay, I wonder what she'll look like.
Yeah.
Will I still recognise her?
Yeah.
She's a shorty, so I should recognise her.
Yeah. And you're going to have to allow her to be that difference.
Yes.
You know, you can't refer to her. She's not the person that she was 15 years ago.
I know.
You may not know her.
I have to look for things that I recognise.
Well, you have to allow her to be that.
To be her.
And you have to find out now who she is.
Yeah.
It's a new thing.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
So that'll be very cool. I look forward to hearing about that.
Shall we talk about the last topic of change? Are you ready?
I am ready.
Well, there's something totally new that I did this week that I've never done before.
What's that? What have you been up to?
I've had a few days off because of this cough thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I know.
You know, yes. You've been putting up with me.
Not at all.
Being pathetic. And I thought, oh, I really need a medical certificate. And you know how I love going to the doctor.
Yeah, so here in Australia, you're allowed to have a certain number of days off without requiring any validation from the medical profession.
Yes.
And then if it's going to go longer, you have to get a certificate.
Yep. Now it's increased for teachers. I think it's 4 days.
4 days.
Yep. So I thought, okay, I'm still not feeling crash hot. I can't go and talk in front of a class. So I have to go to the doctor. Not my favourite thing. I don't know why, because it's when I go, it's okay. So I did a quick Google check.
Dr. Google.
Dr. Google, can I get a medical certificate? Oh, yes, you can.
Oh, my goodness.
$39.95, and it's done. Go online. I've typed in my own wording.
Like your symptoms and...
Yeah, I had to describe what's been going on and what I've done about it. And then it said, what words would you like on their medical certificate? So I wrote, cold with a very deep cough. I don't know, that's the best I could come up with. Well, then it got put into a queue. I paid my $39.95, and it said it'll take up to an hour, which was all right because it was 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And within half an hour, ding, in your inbox, here's your medical certificate.
Wow. So literally there was an AI there that you were talking with that helped you frame and form...
Yeah, a platform. I can't remember what it's called. Doc Upload or something.
Yeah, so it helped you put all the words together and then submit the certificate.
Yeah, and then it said apparently it goes out to doctors. I don't know, does it really? Who knows? And they will, probably does, and then they sign it or they give you a call if they need more information. I had my certificate within half an hour.
Wow.
And it came in an email and I just sent that off to work.
Amazing. And when you think about it, somebody's there sick, right? Not feeling great, probably in bed.
Yeah.
In the olden days, they had to get up, get dressed, book an appointment, make their way down to the doctor clinic, sit in the clinic, see the doctor so he could go, oh, yes, you're sick, and sign the paper, and then go home and go back to bed.
Well, in the really olden days, the doctor would have come to you.
Well, that's a good point. That's a long time ago.
I know. I don't ever remember that happening to me, that a doctor ever came to our house.
That's amazing. And when you think about it, right, because a lot of illnesses have symptoms. So basically you get diagnosed, the symptoms are identified, the symptoms then are applied to a treatment and you get whatever medication or whatever that treatment is. So essentially, instead of sitting in front of the doctor to get that, you're just writing the information.
Yes.
And either a doctor or, I'm going to say an AI, but some algorithm could analyse that and say, yes, that's all the symptoms of a cold.
Well, apparently it was signed by a doctor in Sydney, so who knows?
Who knows? Amazing. That is so cool. Shall we talk about money?
Ka-ching!
Ka-ching, ka-ching. Now, I want to play a little game with you, but the topic is how much money can you receive before you freak out?
Okay, I'm ready.
The upshot of this is, imagine you hear people saying, oh, I'd like $1 million, or I'd like $3 million, or whatever it is, right? But really, could they handle $3 million?
I got a number in my head.
Okay, what is it?
10.
$10.
Million.
All right, so let's play a little game and test this theory.
Okay.
How much money can you receive before you freak out? Imagine you're walking along the street and you see a $2 coin on the footpath. Would you stop and pick it up?
Yes.
And put it in your pocket?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say you're walking along and there on the footpath is a wad of notes and it's $1,000. What would you do?
Well, I'd have a quick look around, see if someone was playing a trick on me. If I couldn't see anyone, I'd pick it up and run.
And run? Why would you run?
Well, just in case it was a trick, I'd run them.
Okay, same scenario. You're walking along the footpath and you go to the bus stop and there on the seat at the bus stop is a suitcase, like an attaché case. Would you open it? It's unattended.
Yeah, see, now the stuff comes in. Oh, left bag at the airport, don't leave anything. There could be a bomb in it.
So here you are at the bus stop, there's nobody around, attaché case. Let's say you did open it and it was full of money. Let's say there's $100,000 in there.
I'll take it.
Would you take it?
I'll take it.
You would?
Yeah, I'll take it.
No hesitation?
Yeah. First I'd go through my thought process. Oh, what is this? And then I go, no, stuff it, I'll take it.
Okay.
Someone left it behind, I'm taking it.
So you're walking along, you come to another bus stop, These bus stops are very interesting places.
Where are these bus stops?
And there's a large suitcase, you know, the ones on 4 wheels, and it's sitting there at the bus stop, and you have a look at it and open it, and there's $1 million in there. What would you do?
I'll take it.
I think you're lying to me. I think you've been lying all along.
Well, I'd take it. You didn't ask me what I was going to do with it.
What would you do with it?
Well, maybe I'll hand it in.
There you go.
Ha!
Good point. So the point of the game is that what is your level at which you will allow yourself to receive without any difficulty?
See, I've watched too many movies. I've watched too many crime movies. And I think if I found $1 million, then bad people would come and chase me because I'd taken their money.
Well, there's lots of things. There is that, right?
I know.
There's lots of things like if it was $10 million, you'd be terrified.
Of things like that.
Of things like that. But also, what do you do? What do you do with $10 million that you found on the footpath?
I know, because you can't put it in the bank.
You couldn't put it in the bank. The tax man will want to know where that came from.
Oh, yeah.
You might get a call from the police. Even if you could get it in the bank and you're not used to that amount of money, how do you handle it? What do you do with it? What bank is going to take $10 million cash?
See?
Without a lot of questions.
And then you'd have to launder the money.
And there's all of that, right?
Clean it up.
It might be just the universe providing you with a well-needed amount of money.
Yeah.
And so the point being is if there's limits that you have to the amount of money you can receive with ease, then it doesn't matter what job you're doing, doesn't matter what fancy scheme you get yourself involved in or what promises are made by somebody that you're investing with, you will never allow yourself to have more than that amount of money because in your head you think you can't handle it. You think it's going to cause you problems. You think that money is evil. You think that the mafia is going to come along and give you a hard time. There's all of these scenarios running around in your head that prevent you from having money with
So
ease.
really, in order to get over my point of view, I could do like the exercise we just did, visualise that again, run through it, and get rid of all those scenarios that I invent.
Exactly.
To make myself be able to receive more.
Indulge in the situation. So that's like in your mind, close your eyes, indulge in the situation,
Yeah.
and then have a look at what is real.
Yeah.
Are the aliens going to come and take you away? Are the mafia going to come and do this?
Yeah, right.
Ask yourself some questions. If I take this money, what will my life be like in 5 years? That's a question that is taught in Access Consciousness in their classes. There's lots of questions you can ask yourself, but if you indulge in the situation, and it doesn't mean that you have to take the money. It's unlikely you're going to come across a suitcase full of $10 million.
Oh,
Sorry about that.
okay.
But it does allow you in your life to receive more money.
Right.
And receive more wealth and have greater ease with money.
By getting rid of all your points of view.
Yeah, because if you had a point of view that you couldn't receive more than $100 or $1,000 or $500, then that really puts a limit on the wealth that you can receive and accumulate in your life.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you think that you're going to start this business or you think that you're going to go and get onto this great big venture, or there's this course that you go and do that promises that you're going to make lots of money. And so you spend all of your time and money doing courses and things, but the underlying assumption is, I can only receive $1,000 with ease.
And you're still operating on getting rid of your money.
So you have to get rid of it, or not have it, or not see it, or not be aware of it, or not allow anything into your life that could facilitate you having more money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm still thinking about all the points of view that I have about finding all that money
exactly.
and what I do with it.
What if you had no points of view and then you could choose one way or the other?
Yeah. Choose without fear.
Choose anything.
Without points of view. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
It's time to talk about your favourite stuff, Mr. IT Geek. And me, the Techno Gumby. I want to tell you about a meeting that I had. I had to do a call with Germany, and they were using a different platform. I think it was Meet. Anyway, I was working on the computer and the meeting time was coming up. So I went into the link and I opened it up and nothing happened on my screen. And I couldn't hear anyone. And then I finally somehow moved some things around on my screen. And I saw the meeting, but I couldn't hear them. And I thought, that's weird. Then the meeting disappeared off the screen.
Off the screen.
Yeah. And then I shut everything down, clicked back in the meeting again, and I could see them, I could still not hear them. So I'm in and out, and in the meantime, of course, the video's on. So they must be seeing me popping in and out, and I don't know what they're looking at.
Trying to figure this out.
So I put on my headphones, and I got to hear them. But I'd open up some other windows again, and I couldn't see them. So now I could hear them, not see them, still not realising that they can see me. So what had happened was the window had popped open beneath all my other open windows that I had. Well, I didn't know that it could be a thing. I thought the latest thing that you opened up would just open up immediately. So finally, after 10 minutes faffing about, I finally got onto the meeting, and then that's when I realised, oh my God, the video had been on all this time, and then I backtracked in my mind what had I been doing? What did my face look like? Did I do some weird stuff that I didn't, and I think it was okay. And then I took all the notes. That's what I was there for, to take notes for someone else. But yeah, technology, Gumby, and learning new things. And really, I am one of these people. Okay, I need to get this done. I'm going to learn as much that I need to know in order to do this job. Not necessarily badly, but mediocre. It could be better, and I'll just get it done, what I need to get done now. And then in my mind, I'll get back to learning these things later. And I never do, because I don't really have such a great interest. That's my Techno Gumby story.
I think this is fairly common, and it's such an interesting thing. I don't recall if this happens in all sorts of areas, but particularly with software, we tend to learn just the minimum amount of what we need to do the job that we have at hand. And then we go away. And the next time we come back, because we've kind of done the minimum, it doesn't really stick with us. So we don't remember it very well.
Yes.
So then we have to figure it out again. All right, and it's not until we've done this particular minimal thing a few times that it begins to stick, because humans tend to learn by repetition. There's other ways to learn, but that's one of the ways, depending on how many meetings you're doing, but you're only learning that small thing, the minimum amount you need to do the task at hand.
Just the necessary bits.
Now, the software has capabilities way beyond that thing that you're looking to do. All software is capable of doing lots and lots of things.
Just like our nervous system.
Just like our nervous system.
Yeah.
Why is it that we have no interest in knowing what else there is?
Why is that?
I don't know.
Me neither.
But it's what happens. Now, I wonder too, like if you applied that to life, here we are in this life, and we tend to do the minimal thing that we need to do to survive, not realizing, perhaps, that life has this whole menu of capacities and adventures and possibilities that we never tap into because we've got our attention on what is it that I need to do to survive in this moment.
If my face was on the screen right now, it'd be like it's frozen.
Glazed over.
Guffaw. I don't know what that word is. Just puzzled of this aha moment, light bulbs going off, ding, 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 going, wow.
I mean, I'm probably a little bit different in IT in particular. I'm interested in finding out more about the particular software or the particular AI or ChatGPT, what it can do.
What about your life?
But even with that, at a certain point, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied I know enough.
With your life too?
Yeah, but with my life, what else is there that I am not aware of? What else is there beyond my wildest dreams is possible that I haven't asked about, I don't know about, I haven't tapped into? Because it always seems, right, as you're going through life, you discover new things.
Yes.
You become aware of different things. And there's new tasks that you take on and new joys that you allow into your life and new fun and new dramas. It's an evolving, changing thing, isn't it?
Yes.
What else is possible?
Indeed.
Indeed.
That has been a very expansive little chat.
Well, we like to open the door to questions and curiosity. Well, is that it for today?
That's it for today.
Fantastic. Same place next week?
Perhaps not.
Same time?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. We'll see you then.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You've been listening to Mouthbuzz. Subscribe to stay in the loop and be part of the conversation next time.